everyone has the right to a fair day in court. The U.S. Constitution gives citizens and non-citizens alike the right to be represented by legal counsel. But 8 out of 10 people facing deportation in San Diego County cannot afford to hire an attorney. Today, San Diego County is changing that and making history in the process. San Diego County is now the first border region in the United States to provide free legal representation for immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers facing removal proceedings. We are declaring with one voice that our justice system must be based on facts and law, not access to wealth and resources. This historic action is a step towards shrinking the inequality of access to true justice in our nation. An inequality that runs contrary to the rights guaranteed in the United States Constitution. An inequality that runs counter to our values as Americans. This program provides real resources to protect the right to due process for all San Diegans and ensure that our country is a place where immigrants and refugees can thrive. This is going to change lives. Imagine that you are in an immigration detention center. You do not speak the language. You do not understand the federal legal system. You cannot work, and your family cannot survive without your income. And you do not know what will happen next. These fathers, mothers, and children are often left alone and helpless to defend themselves in an intimidating, overwhelming, and backlogged immigration court. But with this program, we are changing that. These changes are possible because last May, our board voted to establish the Immigrant Legal Defense Program. And this month, I am proud to report that our landmark program is up and running. And our message is clear. San Diego County stands for justice for all. Let's get one thing straight. The parents, children, and other immigrants who are using this program are not asking for special treatment. They're asking for equal treatment. And the benefits of this program will go well beyond helping individuals. It will help to reduce the backlog in our immigration courts by bringing more professional legal representation and helping to reduce the workload of immigrant judges. It will help save taxpayer dollars by moving people through the system more efficiently and getting people out of expensive detention facilities. And it will reduce significant losses in economic activity and revenue because detainees with legal counsel are 4 times more likely to be released, allowing them to return to their jobs, to their families, and their community while they wait the results of their legal matter. And they can get back to work supporting their families. This issue is personal to me. Not only am I an attorney who believes strongly in upholding our Constitution, I'm also the descendant of 3 great-grandparents who fled to the United States to escape the torture and mass killings of Jews in Europe. My great-grandfather Max escaped persecution in Ukraine, much like we are seeing again tragically today. 100 years later, our country is still a beacon of hope for people fleeing persecution. And just as Ellis Island stood as that beacon for my great-grandparents, today San Diego County is home to the busiest border crossing in the nation, representing a vital gateway of international trade, travel, and hope for a better life. Where once immigrants flocked to Ellis Island, they now come to our city, to our county, to our border. So it is crucial that San Diego step up to uphold the promise of America. Because when we keep America's promise of equal justice for all, we give immigrants dignity and opportunity. We make the legal system more efficient. We promote fairness and justice, and we strengthen our values as Americans. So I am just so proud to stand here with you all today on the shoulders of so many in our community and around our nation who have spent their lives working to make the promises enshrined in our Constitution a reality. So it is now my great honor to turn the microphone over to Michael Garcia with the County Public Defender's Office to share further details about our program. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Michael Garcia. I am a Chief Deputy at the Public Defender's Office and Director of the Office of Assigned Counsel. On behalf of our Public Defender, Randy Mize, I want to thank Supervisor Lawson-Remer and the Board of Supervisors for entrusting the establishment and management of this necessary and important program with our office. The data that we saw in our county was telling and begging for a solution which upheld the principles of fairness and due process in our immigration courts. In San Diego County, only 17% of individuals who appear in immigration court are represented by legal counsel. Of those unrepresented 83% who have to navigate the complex immigration legal system on their own, the success rate of gaining any relief whatsoever during their case is only a mere 4%. By contrast, when represented by counsel, that success rate climbs to over 40%. As you can see, these numbers are telling. An attorney in immigration court means absolutely everything. Our program is established not to promote illegal immigration, but exactly the opposite. It's meant to promote the lawful application of our immigration laws and the due process within the four walls of all our courtrooms in the County of San Diego. For the past 12 months, the Public Defender's Office and the County Public Safety Group has undergone a long and careful procurement process to contract with immigration, legal representation organizations to provide this much-needed service for detained immigrants. The three agencies which have been selected are the American Bar Association Immigration Justice Project, Jewish Family Service, and the Southern California Immigration Project. These three agencies are the gold standard in immigration defense law in San Diego County. Their attorneys and staff are seasoned immigration law practitioners, and we at the county are very excited to extend their reach and their legal representation to the San Diego immigrant community. Our program, for starters, as mandated by the Board of Supervisors, is for the representation of detained immigrants in removal proceedings. Detained has been defined broadly to include individuals in what we call alternatives to detentions, which primarily make up things like GPS monitoring as well as house arrest. If you are in custody and see this flyer at the Otay Mesa Detention Facility, or if you have a family or loved one in custody, any one of the listed numbers are the ones to call to have your case evaluated for program no-cost legal representation. In addition, the Office of Assigned Counsel is presently accepting and evaluating applications to form a separate panel of individual immigration attorneys to supplement representation in cases that the three listed contractors cannot take. I'm excited to announce the San Diego County Immigrant Rights Legal Defense Program is open for business and representing immigrants as we speak in San Diego County. We look forward to helping our immigrant community and promoting the principles of justice and due process within our entire immigration court system. Thank you very much.
So next up, I'd like to call Andrew Nietor with the Southern California Immigrant Justice Project to the podium.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Andrew Nietor. I'm a local immigration attorney here in San Diego. I'm very excited to be part of this county program, working with the Southern California Immigration Project and my colleagues at Jewish Family Service and the ABA's Immigrant Justice Project. As an immigration attorney, I know the importance of having legal representation for somebody who's in deportation proceedings, especially if they're detained. We know that if somebody has an attorney, they are 4 times more likely to get a bond. They're up to 10 times more likely to get relief from deportation. And that means not being deported, not being separated from their families, perhaps not being returned to a country where they even face persecution or death. Immigration law is particularly complicated, and without an immigration attorney and legal assistance, it's very hard to navigate that system. If you're detained, it's almost impossible. If you can imagine being detained, being separated from your family, and then under those conditions having to understand the system, filling out applications, filing petitions, filing objections to evidence, gathering your own evidence, doing investigation, gathering declarations, sometimes information that is from other countries. It's almost impossible to do by yourself without good legal representation. The program is also important for San Diego because we want members of our community to stay with their families. We want people to maintain their legal immigration status, and we'd like other people to be able to obtain legal status. The program is also good just for our system of justice because we've always believed that everybody should have the right to an attorney, regardless of things like race, nationality, or income level. So I really hope that people who are detained, people that can use these services, their loved ones, will contact some of the numbers that you see on the flyer. You can call any of those numbers. All the attorneys, all the agencies, we're working together, we're coordinating, and we are ready to roll up our sleeves and offer these important services to people in need. Buenos días, mi nombre es Andrés Nieto, soy abogado de inmigración aquí en San Diego. Estoy muy contento de participar en este programa. Como abogado de inmigración entiendo qué tan importante es tener abogado de inmigración para una persona en procedimiento de deportación, más si esta persona está detenida. La ley de inmigración es muy complicada y es muy difícil navegarla sin asesoría legal. Si usted puede imaginar una persona separada de su familia, detenida, y bajo esas condiciones tener que comprender el sistema, comprender la ley de inmigración, llenar aplicaciones, meter peticiones, hacer una investigación, llenar, juntar documentos y declaraciones a veces de otros países. Es casi imposible hacer sin ayuda legal. Y también este programa es bueno para San Diego porque queremos que miembros de nuestra comunidad se queden con sus familias y queremos que personas guarden su estatus migratorio y que otras personas obtengan estatus legal. Entonces espero que las personas detenidas o sus seres queridos llamen los números que aparecen en el volante. Todos los abogados y las oficinas estamos coordinando entre nosotros para ofrecer ese servicio importante a la comunidad. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd now like to welcome Norma Chavez Peterson of the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties to the podium.
Good morning. My name is Norma Chavez Peterson. I'm the Executive Director of ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties, and we are a proud member of the Invest in San Diego Families Coalition. Today is a beautiful day, and today we also celebrate a historic milestone for civil and human rights in San Diego County, the launch of the County Immigrant Legal Defense Program. The Board of Supervisors, as we're hearing this morning, created that, but I want to give a special thank you to Supervisor Lawson-Remer for her tremendous leadership in getting us to this point. Access to counsel, we know, is a fundamental civil right, but we also know that immigrants that are in removal proceedings face a completely different reality than folks that are in our traditional criminal justice system. Every day, immigrants must navigate our complicated immigration court system, as we've heard, most of the time without legal representation. These are high-stakes proceedings where outcomes can include permanent family separation and worse if returned to their home countries of origin. For immigrants who may be at risk of deportation, including lawful permanent residents, military veterans, people seeking asylum, and the parents and spouses of U.S. citizens, access to legal representation is critical to their ability to defend themselves. For people incarcerated in immigration detention facilities, such as the Otay Mesa Detention Center, a privately run facility in South County that detains up to 1,000 people for weeks and months at a time, access to counsel is very, very challenging. So today is a great day in terms of access. By providing access to counsel to detained immigrants, the Immigrant Legal Defense Program makes our nation's immigration system just a little bit more just and more humane. We have a long ways to go. But it gives people a fair chance of rejoining their families, winning their freedom, and seeking relief from deportation. The Invest in Families San Diego Coalition fought long and hard to create this vitally important program. We're extremely proud to see our efforts come to fruition, and every single San Diegan can be proud that this county is the first county across the entire 2,000-mile southern border to provide immigrants in detention access to free legal counsel. And I hope that all of us, not only is it important because we're the only ones, but it's important because it's about our values, it's about equal justice, and all of the promises enshrined in the Constitution. As part of the program's advisory group, the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties will work with the Board of Supervisors, legal service providers, and the Public Defender's Office to ensure the Immigrant Legal Defense Program is successful and becomes a permanent fixture here in San Diego County. So thank you all. Ahora lo voy a decir en español. Buenos días, mi nombre es Norma Chavez Peterson. Soy la directora ejecutiva de ACLU, de la Unión Americana de Libertades Civiles de, de los condados de San Diego y Imperial. Somos orgullosos miembros de la coalición Invest in San Diego Families, no sé cómo decirlo eso. Hoy celebramos un momento histórico para los derechos civiles y humanos aquí en el condado de San Diego con el lanzamiento del programa de defensa legal para migrantes en este condado. La Junta de Supervisores creó este programa hace un año y quiero agradecer especialmente a la supervisora Lawson-Remer por su liderazgo en llevarnos a este lugar. El acceso a un abogado es un derecho civil fundamental en este país, pero sabemos que para inmigrantes es una realidad muy diferente. Para las personas encarceladas en centros de detención de migración de migrantes como el Centro de Detención de Otay Mesa, con capacidad para detener hasta mil personas durante semanas o meses, un acceso a un abogado es algo muy difícil para las personas que están en detención. Al proveer acceso, asesoramiento, representación legal para inmigrantes detenidos, el programa de defensa legal de inmigrantes hace que el sistema de inmigración de nuestra nación sea un poquito más justo y más humano. Le da a la gente una oportunidad, una esperanza, una oportunidad más justa de permanecer con sus familias, lograr su libertad y protegerse de la deportación. La coalición Invest in San Diego Families luchó por mucho tiempo para crear este programa tan importante. Estamos orgullosos de ver que nuestros esfuerzos dieron resultado y esperamos que todos los sandieguinos este día estemos celebrando y orgullosos de que somos el primer condado a través de toda la frontera Estados Unidos con México que vamos a proveer acceso a un abogado a los inmigrantes en detención. Hay que celebrar. Pero como somos parte del grupo asesor del programa, nuestra organización con la Junta de Supervisores, los proveedores de servicios legales y la Oficina del Defensor Público, vamos a garantizar que el programa de defensa legal no solo sea exitoso, pero que trabajemos para mantenerlo como un programa permanente en este condado. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. And our final speaker before Q&A, I would like to call to the podium Munozcago, a refugee from Somalia.
Hi, my name is Munozcago. I came to the United States in 1999, refugee fleeing for violence in Somalia. Somalia was not safe for me, and I left to protect my family and my friend daughter, who was just 1 year old that time. A journey was fighting for a young mother, but I was only way to keep my daughter safe, and mother will have done same. I work hard to build my life here and become long journey as to seek asylum. In 2008, I was living to my family. I was working as the manager store clothing. One day I was wake up at 6 a.m. and saw an officer banging front my door. There was so much noise and confusion. I looked and saw two officers shining their light through the window and 4 more armed men at my door. When I let them in, they read the names of many men, and I did not know of a piece of paper, and they made me to know if I know this man, of I'm hiding them. We were afraid and shocked, and they told me I will be arrested and deportation. The officer took us from my house. My daughter, who was 9 at the time, have asthma attack, but officer will allow me to get her medication from the cabinet. He don't want me allowed to get that medicine. We were taken to the downtown detention center, but into worst room I ever been in. I still horrible thing about that day. We were booked in at last 50 as off with 3 or 4 new people dropping every few minutes in the room. There was toilet in the room, in the corner of the room. It was private. There was no private anyone who need to be used that time. It was humiliated. The room was very cold, and there was blast to air conditioning. My daughter was cold and she couldn't stop shaking. And I still live downtown, and I still see that horrible building where I was detained. I was afraid that will be dropped. The deportation officer, and he say, if I went to back Somalia, I will be killed, and my daughter will be killed too. I was very confused, and I felt completely helpless. Finally, they let me make phone call, and I was obliged to call my friend and my attorney, and they call my boss. And I'm so lucky that I already had attorney. My lawyer explained to me that I noticed the appears before the chat. I had been sent to my old house address, and I did not show up to court. It was a deportation list. That's why the officer detained me to the downtown. My lawyer was obliged to fix it paperwork, mix it up my daughter, and I was released that same day. I don't know what I would have done without help of my attorney. I could have been stuck at detention and lost my job and my livelihood, or worse, I would have been sent back Somalia 10 years after I failed my life here. Today I live here this building, same apartment complex. Every morning I see the same window where I first saw those officers, and remind me just how close I was lost the life that I built here. And I know there was so many people who are sitting at detention room right now who are afraid to confuse it, and who the first chance to make their case to have to have justice. I'm so happy the program is starting for all those people and for our entire community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'd now like to call my girl Garcia back up for any questions.